Movies are about the director, then TV is still about the showrunner. Even pictures you might have reservations about, Blade Runner 2049, Baby Driver, Downsizing, It, The Lost City of Z, all offered a bigness, an experience, a sense of visual spectacle that TV is still not capable of reproducing. TV is almost always stuck with story, story, story. 3 acts or 5 acts in an arranged pattern flowing from one point to the next with a kind of writer room logic. What does this character want? Do we set up the narrative quickly enough with the inciting incident? What is this show trying to say? Are we tracking this character to a satisfying reveal? Does episode 1 track with episode 8? We've got to make sure the audience understands everything. And yet, for anyone who watched David Lynch's 18-hour movie that Showtime played out over the summer, Twin Peaks, you realize that this model could be broken, and should be. And it was hard to watch anything that followed the dictum of TV rules with any patience again. Twin Peaks was often thrilling, boring for some, hard to follow, mesmerizing, terrifying, funny, bleak, and it ended on a hopelessness of an almost cosmic scale. And it never felt to me like an 18-hour movie, which was what plenty of people called it. It actually felt more radical if you watched it every week as a TV series. And for a long time, it made me impatient with just about every other show on TV, because with any hour of Twin Peaks, the invalidation of every TV show became apparent, that they were all made in a lab. Atlanta, yes, might be an exception. They've all been processed to death, wanting you to like them or be impressed by them, with so many hands molding the content. What was so exciting about Twin Peaks was that it threw everything we know about TV storytelling out the window, and it was genreless, combining horror, sci-fi, comedy, domestic drama, FBI procedural into a swirling vision of American life, moving from Washington to Las Vegas to South Dakota to Philadelphia and New Mexico, with a cast of nearly 100 actors, from regulars who were in the first Twin Peaks almost 30 years ago to everyone from Richard Chamberlain to Michael Cera to Naomi Watts to Laura Dern to Amanda Seyfried to Harry Dean Stanton. Each episode capped with a musical number by a number of bands and performers, from the Chromatics to Sharon Van Etten to Nine Inch Nails to Eddie Vedder to Julie Cruz, all performing late night at the Bang Bang Bar. Standalone episodes, mysteries resolved and unresolved, surrealism unmatched on TV, tidal waves of mood and atmosphere, all helmed by one vision. It was David Lynch, and his imprint was everywhere. Writers around town here in LA in the summer of 2017, stuck in the development algorithm, maybe overrated Twin Peaks a bit because it was so radical by comparison to what was being lauded that summer. Plenty of people who wanted the comfort of TV hated Twin Peaks, and you could certainly be looked at as a bit of a contrarian if you professed to like the show. Maybe there were limits at times to its charms, though really not that often at all. But either you got on its level or you didn't. This wasn't This Is Us. Twin Peaks didn't care what you thought about it, which is what made it so exciting and so addicted to some of us, despite its deliberate digressions and scenes that went on for 8, 9, 10 minutes, often without dialogue. The silences on Twin Peaks were a blessing compared to talky TV series who were constantly explaining everything. You couldn't explain Twin Peaks. Every time it normalized into what passed for a coherent TV series, a half hour later, it exploded the conventions yet again. Ultimately, it was a lesson in the limitations of storytelling convention, and though a lot of it felt ultimately weightless, perhaps, there was a fierce artistic vision at play so rare in television that I found myself looking forward to every new episode. It was visionary TV.
I believe our love can save me. Have to believe that it can. I wanna redirect myself with you. Do you understand?